The Phasieland Fairy Tales, Book 9, Time Machine Travels and the Pharaoh's Secret. Phasie has grown a lot recently and become much more resolute. He has been in excellent spirits, and he has been eating his oatmeal with even more relish each morning. Now, all of his thoughts are devoted to freeing Phasieland from the evil Phaw. Phasie realized that he should start by finding out where the dragon came from and why he didn't like people. Phasie was sure that this knowledge would help him to find Phaw's weak points and defeat him.
"Why doesn't Phaw like people?"
he asked his mother over breakfast. "Phaw, is that our new neighbor?"
"No, it's a dragon from Phasieland. I already told you."
"Aha, I don't know." The mother looked at her son with suspicion and began to nervously tap her foot on the floor. Phasie could feel it. Something bad was about to happen. His suspicions were not mistaken. "You're not allowed to go there anymore," said his mom quite sternly.
"Why not? It's so cool and interesting."
End of conversation. Although Phasie was an obedient boy, this time he disobeyed his mom. During a daytime nap, he woke up in Phasieland. He and Ludr found a time machine out there in an abandoned barn. It looked like a sports car from the future. They set the time machine for the earliest notch on the time dial. With a whistle and a flash of lightning, the friends appeared so far back in the past that there wasn't even a planet Earth yet. There was only space, and nothing but space. Is it possible that they might have to travel in time so much that they might never find where Phaw came from? After his afternoon nap, Phasie went to collect strawberries with his friends. While the friends walked through the forest, Astra's mother and Phasie's mother sternly discussed their children's unusual Phasieland hobby. The issue became no laughing matter.
"Are we really doing something wrong?"
lamented Astra, who had also gotten a lecture from her mom.
"You are stupid dreamers,"
gloated OOBE while emptying a handful of wild strawberries into his mouth.
"Astra, don't you worry. We'll think of something."
Phasie reassured his friend and gave OOBE such a hard slap that he almost choked on his berries and, feeling offended, started to walk to the other end of the forest opening. The friends tried to figure out what to do until evening. Phasie couldn't shake the feeling that their mother's behavior reminded him of something. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't remember exactly what it was. Over supper, Phasie had to endure another conversation with his mother. "Who told you about that Phasieland of yours?" she asked sternly.
"Ludr, I already told you."
"Where does he live? In which house?" "Don't laugh. You're not allowed to talk to that Ludr or walk around in Phasieland. Understood?"
"But Mom..."
Phasie wanted to object, but was then struck by a riveting thought. His mother reminded him of the evil dragon Phaw. Why was she talking and acting like him? What are the odds that she herself is that evil dragon Phaw? Phasie realized that he had to find out where Phaw came from, not only in order to defeat him, but also to deal with his mother, as he believed their behavior to be linked. That night, Phasie woke up and immediately appeared in Phasieland once he rolled out of bed without moving a muscle. The time machine and Ludr were already waiting under the window.
"Back to the dinosaurs!"
yelled Phasie as he jumped into the car, which transferred them with a whistle and a flash of lightning to a lake alongside a smoking volcano. There were scary and funny-looking dinosaurs everywhere. The enormous animals were eating ferns and chasing each other. Phasie exclaimed,
"Wow! But what do they have to do with Phaw? Let's keep going,"
advised Ludr. After having walked with the dinosaurs a little more, the friends returned to the time machine. This time, they decided to fly to the future. Perhaps someone over there could tell them where Phaw came from. The time machine whistled, lightning flashed, and the friends appeared in a stream of cars flying among skyscrapers.
We're in the future.
Phasie beamed in delight.
We need to ask somebody about Fa,
suggested Ludr. The friends parked their time machine at a flying cafe. While in line for soda, they stood next to a boy who was wearing a device on his head that looked similar to a crock pot. After talking with him, the friends discovered that everyone will know about Phasieland in the future. Everyone spent a long time there every day, both as children and adults, but hadn't even heard of Fa. Surprised, the disappointed friends sat back in the time machine. While they thought of what to do next, Phasie suddenly woke up in bed. Without losing a second, he imagined himself in the time machine and immediately appeared next to Ludr. The friends started out in ancient Egypt. After a whistle and flash of lightning, the time machine appeared among the pyramids, which were being built. A chariot in which a stern pharaoh was solemnly sitting immediately stopped next to them.
"Who is that dragon, Fa?"
The pharaoh seemed to be surprised by Phasie's question.
"That's not for you to know."
Why not?
"Get him!"
barked the pharaoh at his warriors as he himself lunged at Phasie and Ludr. The friends had hardly managed to close the door to the time machine when arrows and spears pierced through it. One of them damaged an important mechanism, and the time machine conked out. While Phasie and Ludr tried to get back to the future, the pharaoh and his minions chased them through the desert around the pyramids. While trying to escape, Phasie hit a statue of the Sphinx. Due to the impact, the Sphinx's head fell off, crushing the pharaoh and his bodyguards.
"Please let me out,"
plaintively moaned the pharaoh.
"I'll tell you everything then."
Oh no, spit it out first,
Phasie commanded.
"See them?"
The pharaoh nodded towards the thousands of exhausted slaves building the pyramids.
"The dragon is needed for them and people like them."
What for?
asked Phasie in surprise.
"So that they are afraid to go into Phasieland and continue to remain slaves instead."
Well, how can we defeat him?
"He does not exist. You all just come together and defeat him."
He does not exist?
Phasie had hardly managed to ask when their time machine suddenly started working and whisked them back home in a flash of lightning. While they flew through time, Ludr told Phasie exactly how Fa scares regular people. That morning over breakfast, Phasie craftily asked his mother,
Have you ever realized while you were having a bad dream that you were actually asleep?
"There you go again. Sure, it's happened."
And has it ever happened that you had woken up, but then it turned out that you were still asleep?
"I had something like that yesterday,"
So you've also been to Phasieland,
said Phasie, who then explained to his mom that this and other magical things that happened during the night were what they called Phasieland, and that everybody can appear there. Phasie's mother was quite surprised by her son's words and began thinking about something. And from then on, she never said that he couldn't go to Phasieland anymore. Meanwhile, Phasie and Astra began to prepare for the final battle against the evil dragon. A few more words from Uncle Michael. Dear friend, you now know where to find your time machine and how to use it to appear in the distant future or past. For example, like Phasie, you've probably also dreamed of seeing dinosaurs and walking among them. Finally, our heroes found out who Fa was and where he came from. Like all of their adventures, this is a true story. Phasieland's evil dragon is the embodiment of the fear that all adults have. All people would have long been traveling around Phasieland were it not for their fears coming to life, which prevents them from entering that kingdom. The main battle remains ahead for our friends. Can they beat Fa? Will they have enough strength for it? You'll soon find out. But for now, don't forget about the magical kingdom of Phasieland and the magic minute of awakening. Get all 10 fairy tales online at www.phasieland.com.